what does the president have? He has his own special jet, Air Force One. If you saw all the features that go along with Air Force One, it's amazing. It has like a computer to block any missiles that would come its way. It has everything you can think of. It's like fully prepared and luxurious for the president. So the leaders today, for sure, they're reaping the benefits that none of the regular people would ever have. Umar al-Khattab needed to know about the reference of a man. He just needed to know about some guy. Is he good? Is he bad? Is he not? Is he this? One guy said, yeah, I can vouch for him. Yeah, Amir al-Mu'mineen, like I can tell you. He's good. Umar said, well, are you his neighbor? The guy says, no. Umar says, did you ever live with him? The guy says, no. Umar said, then have you ever done business with him? Did you ever work with him? The guy says, no. Umar said, did you ever travel with him? Because traveling is mahaqq al-rijal. It's the test of men. You guys ever travel with somebody? Like go on vacation besides with your family? Who has? Raise their hand. Besides with your family? Yeah, it's rare. If you ever go on traveling or go on vacation with somebody, because you're on them all the time, because you're usually together in the hotel room, outside, walking to here and there, you start seeing the real them, and they start seeing the real you, and you guys get annoyed with each other, you might fight a little more. So I'm not saying, did you ever travel with this person? To really say that you know. The guy says no. Amr said, well, maybe you saw him standing in the masjid, saying Quran, moving his head up and down, doing salah. The guy said, yeah, that's why I think he's good. Amr said, go, because you don't know him. Now Amr said to the guy, go and bring me somebody who knows you. What's the point of this story, guys? If you ever want to say that you know some guy or you really know their character, you got to know them in one of these four aspects. Did you ever live with them? Did you ever travel with them? Did you ever do business with them? Did you ever, or were you ever his neighbor? Because when you're the neighbor of somebody, you know how their hospitality is, you know how they act, because they're right next door to you, you're going to figure it out. Live with somebody, that's easy. But who knows your brother like you? Who knows your sister like you? Because you live with them every day, 24/7, you're seeing them usually. Business, because when money comes into play, that's when you see the real person. Are they going to be sweet, give you a good price? They're going to be stingy, they're going to raise the price, they're going to cheat you, they're going to be fair. That's when it's a big deal. So if a guy comes along to ask for your sister, mathalan, for example, and you want to know if he's a good guy, you don't know about him, ask somebody who really knows him. And if you know a guy who knows him, be like, yeah, I sent him to him, he's a good guy, well, I heard this about him, he comes to the masjid. That's not enough, guys. You want to know deep aspects of this guy's life. Who is he really? The courts of justice. You guys will like these stories. These three are all kind of the same. One time, Umar appointed Amr ibn al-As as his soldier in Egypt, as his general. And there was this one soldier in Egypt, who Amr ibn al-As accused him of being munafiq, a hypocrite. So what happened was this guy goes to Amr al-Khattab, and he says, Amr ibn al-As accused me of being a hypocrite, and all the people know about this and that. So what happened was, Amr called Amr, and he found him guilty in his court of accusing that guy to be a hypocrite. So Amr gave the whip to the soldier, and he said, discipline him. Remember, this is a leader. You don't hear of it any day, like in today's world, that like a regular guy is disciplining his leader. Imagine, like, say Barack Obama did something unfair to you, and now you get to whip him. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen. And even in the youth, I mean, you know what I mean? Let's say like a counselor wronged you, you don't get to kick out the counselor. See what I mean? Even though stuff could be fair. But because people have that position of authority, they take special privileges. But Umar says to the soldier, get revenge on him. So the guy takes the whip. And Amr is sitting down. And he says, who can stop me from you now? Amr says, nobody. Do what you're commanded to do. The guy says, well, I forgive you for the sake of Allah. And he drops the whip. One time Amr was in the desert with his son. And the guy is in the distance, and he's running towards Umar. Umar said, this guy needs something. So the guy comes up to Umar comes up to the guy, and the guy just busts out crying. Umar said, what's the matter? The man said, I drink alcohol. And your wali, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, had me whipped. Which is fine, that's the punishment for drinking alcohol, that's the iqab. But then he drove me around town, and he humiliated me. He told everybody not to sit with me, not to eat with me, not to talk to me. He said, and he did it so much to the extent that I was thinking about assassinating Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. I was thinking about killing him. Or I was thinking about leaving to the land of kufr. Like I just wanted to leave the Muslim land, because all the Muslims know me now, and humiliated. I just want to go to a place where it's all Christians or Jews or kuffar. Umar started crying now. Umar said, Wallahi, I would do this, this, and this, just naming random stuff before you ever leave the land of the Muslimin to go to the land of kuffar. Like I would hate that for one Muslim to leave the Jama'ah to go by kuffar. And that's what a lot of guys do nowadays. They go chill by like their Christian friends if they don't like a couple Muslim guys or this and that. Umar wrote a letter to Umar, to Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, saying, if you really whipped him and drove him around town and humiliated him in public, then you'll have the same thing done to you in public. But if you did it in private, then you'll have the same thing done to you in private. And Umar says to him, if you want to see how serious I am, just try it again. So Umar warns him, don't ever abuse anybody like this. Umar gave the guy some clothes and 200 dirham. A man wanted to claim his war booty. War booty is the spoils of war. Like when you kill the enemy, their swords, their armor, their goods. That's like the spoils of war. So one time, a guy killed a certain amount of soldiers, so that was his. Whatever you kill, you get to claim that guy's stuff. If you killed the guy in war, you get his gun and his armor and this and that, Islamically. The guy comes to claim it, and it was a lot, it seemed, so Abu Musa didn't give him all of it. The guy said, you're going to give me all of it and none of it. Like, this is mine. Abu Musa said no, and he flogged him. And he shaved his head. Shaving the head at that time was like a humiliation. It was like a punishment. So this guy came to Umar al-Khattab, and he had his hair with him. He kept the hair that was shaved off him, and he threw it in Umar's chest. And he said, if it wasn't for hellfire, and if it wasn't for Allah and hellfire, I would have done this, this, and this. Umar said, what's wrong? He says, your wali Abu Musa al-Ash'ari did this and this to me, because he didn't give me my full claim of the war booty. Umar brought in Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. And he found him guilty, and he did the same thing. He gave that guy the whip, and he said, then get even, and shave his head, and whatever he did to you. The man says to Abu Musa, I forgive you for the sake of Allah. And he didn't whip him. Now you figure if these guys want to get justice and they come complain, how come they didn't whip him, right? You figure, let's say, al-qisas, you get even equal with somebody. Let's say, I don't know, name something, guys. Name some way you'd be wrong. They stole your car, your cell phone. So you'd want to get theirs, right, to get even? But if you got them, and they've been accused, and you got the chance to, see, it's easy to forgive when, like, you don't have another choice, you know what I'm saying? Like, the guy stole your phone, and you never heard of him or got him again, be like, I'll forgive him, inshallah. But now when you have the upper hand, the power, let's say you get to take this guy's phone now. Let's say you get to do what he did back. Would you do it? A lot of guys want revenge. And it's not a bad thing, too. That's qisas. You can get even. But look at who these men were. These men just wanted justice. They weren't men of hatred in their hearts. A guy was stoned because he had sex. He committed zina. They stoned him to death. Some Sahaba passed by his dead body and said, if this guy only stayed quiet, if he only just shut up, he wouldn't have been stoned like a dog if he just concealed his sin. Because this guy had sex, felt bad about it, knew it was wrong and haram, went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, I did this, so give me the punishment. So the Sahaba are saying, if he only just shut up and if he only just kept his sin quiet, he would have been fine, he wouldn't have been killed. The Prophet ﷺ heard that, but he stayed quiet. Then they kept walking. Then they saw this dog on the floor, and it was dead. It's been dead for a while. It had a really foul, nasty